what's up everyone? Danny Lightning back with another CSR2 video, and I always have some questions coming in about where should I put my Elite Customs tokens, which cars should I focus on upgrading? Well, that's kind of a hard one to answer. That's kind of personal preference because it depends on what you're trying to do with these things. Now, I did find out that purple star cars don't work. For example, I'm pretty sure the 488 Pista Spider is one of the cars that you can change in Elite Customs, but I have one with purple stars. Can't customize it, okay? Only the golden star cars work, which is kind of a bummer because I never really liked the color on this, so I was pretty excited to get to change the colors, but nope, can't do it. So anyways, in my opinion, alright, we're going to talk about my opinion about the two cars you should probably focus on. And then there's some other stuff to think about as well. But this is definitely personal preference. Now, one of the reasons I would put some of the Elite Customs parts into the Hurricane Coupe, right? If you haven't done the Tempest races yet, and you're working on Tempest 1, Tempest 2, or Tempest 3, if you put some of your tokens into this car, you can actually unlock some extra fusion slots, add some more fusions to this car, and make it even faster than it already is, plus make it look the way you want. Alright, personally, I don't really like most of the colors and upgrades and stuff that they have on this on Elite Customs, so I'm glad I had already chose a paint job and a livery that I liked, because I can't get this livery anymore because they changed the way this worked, which kind of sucks, but I really love the way this car looks right now. I have no interest in changing the way it looks, but it would be nice to get some more fusion slots on this car to make it faster, especially because I noticed this is used for a lot of showdowns, and it's great for doing the Tempest races. I can eventually turn this into a 5-star car, which means it's going to earn even more respect points when I win live races, so this is one that you definitely want to consider dumping your Elite Customs tokens into, just so you can make it faster. Now, most people aren't going to be able to max these out easily. Alright, to do all 50 Elite Customs upgrades is going to be very, very expensive. So, this is just one thing to consider dumping your parts into, alright, for those reasons. Now, let's go look at the other car, which I really recommend dumping some parts into as well. So, the Mclaren F1, if you guys have this and you have a bunch of tokens, you can make this one of the faster cars in the game. Now, there was a nerf on this. It almost sounds like it was an unintentional nerf. So I'm not 100% sure how fast this car is supposed to run. I don't know if it's supposed to be a 6.9 or a 7.0 car, but it almost sounds like they were saying that they realize it's not performing the way it should and they're going to work on fixing it. So there is a chance this could go back to being a 6.9 car and being one of the fastest cars in the game. Or it could end up being a 7.0 or a 7.1 car or whatever. I'm not sure, but either way, after dumping all those Elite tokens into this thing, you can still make it one of the fastest cars in the game, which comes in really handy for live racing. And you can also make it look really cool. So those are the two main cars I would suggest dumping tokens into for two reasons. This one mainly because it's really fast. This is another one that would probably be really good for getting through the Tempest races, okay? If you can get this guy, if you can max this out or get it close to maxed out, same thing with the Lambo. Both of them are going to need to have a lot of parts installed before they can beat Tempest. Tempest is made to be hard. So, those are my two recommendations. Those are the main two I would focus on putting your parts into. Now, another thing, say you just have a car that you really like, but you don't like the color of it. It might be worth dumping just a couple tokens into. So I spent 20 tokens on my NSX because in real life, I love black cars, but on this game, this car just does not look good in black. I spent 20 tokens and bam! Now I got a beautiful red car. Alright, beautiful red car for 20 tokens. Totally worth it. I spent another couple tokens to unlock a couple other rims, but unfortunately, like I noticed, I have a choice of this or this. They look pretty much exactly the same. And if you look at the rest of the rims on this car, I don't really like any of these until you really get up into the higher levels. Now those rims look super cool. These rims look cool. These rims look cool. There's a bunch, like those look really nice, but you got to get up into the real high levels before you start unlocking the really nice looking rims on this car, which is kind of a bummer. Now, who would want something like that? Why are these even on here? These are the ugliest things I have ever saw in my life. But sometimes it might be cool just to dump a couple tokens into a few of your cars just to make them look better if you're not happy with the way they currently look. Let's go look at a couple other cars really quick. Now, for example, you've got your M235i. This is a really cool car, but I don't really see any point to dump more tokens into this unless you're actually just wanting to change the color. I really like this car, but I use it for daily stuff and that's it. Now, I could dump just like 20 tokens into this car, and I would be able to either get this color, and it's just kind of like, well, what am I going to do with that? All right, hold on a second. Let's add the original paint job. Let's go ahead and check out the colors now. So I can have white. I could get yellow. Or that's it. Those are the two colors I could choose from right now. I have no interest in either of those colors. So I'm not going to dump any tokens into this thing at all. All right. I would much rather have the weird livery and color that I chose on here to get this. So I see no point in dumping tokens into most of these cars, especially the lower tier cars. I mean, what are you really going to do with them? But it does sound like some of the Legends cars are capable of beating the Tempest races, so I guess it might not be too bad to dump some of your tokens into some of the Legends cars. Okay, like the Tier 1 Boss Mustang 302. That one's actually worth dumping some Elite Customs upgrades into to make that car faster. Number one, if you don't have anything else, that's a really good live racing car. At least it was before it got nerfed. I don't know if it still is or not, so I don't know on that one. But it's still a very nice, fast car, capable of running pretty quickly. It should beat the Tempest races, I believe. And it should still be pretty good at live racing. Okay, so that's one you might want to look at dumping some tokens into. Most of these ones that, I don't know, like I would actually love to dump some tokens into this S7. This is such a beautiful car, but the problem is getting parts for this car is almost impossible. So I could make this look super cool by dumping some tokens into it, but I don't have any stage 6 parts for this thing. I hardly have any fusions. That would be a complete waste of tokens, okay? Complete waste of tokens because I can't even do anything with this because I have no parts for it. So don't dump your Elite Customs tokens into cars you don't have any parts for. All right, I think that's kind of an important tip right there. Now, like this Rs5 Coupe, I could see no reason at all to spend any tokens on this thing except for maybe to change the way it looks. Very cool car, but what are you really going to do with this thing? You know what I mean? I mean, sure, you can make it 4 stars. It's probably going to be really fast and stuff, but it is a tier 3 car that's kind of so-so. I don't know how good it is when it hits the 3 stars, but personally, I wouldn't dump any stuff into this. And if I look at the colors I can get when I just dump a few tokens into it, what I have right now looks way nicer. So, personally, I wouldn't mess with this one. Of course, unless you really love this car and you just want to make it look better. I mean, there are some really awesome paint jobs for this, but most of the nice ones are on the higher levels. And it's going to take a lot of tokens to get any car to the higher levels. So that's pretty much my advice on this. There is a possibility that more cars could be added to this list. Like I wouldn't be surprised if they do a second set of the sports cars which can be upgraded on Elite Customs. Don't quote me on that. I'm just taking a guess, but that is a very real possibility. So there might be some even better cars on the next time around, and that's only if there is a next time around. Maybe this is it. Maybe they won't add any more. I'm not really sure, but as of right now, I really feel that there's really only 2 cars that are really worth putting your tokens into, and that's going to be the Lamborghini Huracan or, all right, the McLaren F1. And maybe it might be worth, if there's a couple of these cars where you can just dump a few tokens into, and you like the color better than what's currently, that might be worth it for you. But most of those colors are kind of lame until you get up into the higher upgrades. Most of the rims don't look that good until you get up into the higher upgrades, and you're going to have a lot of tokens to get into those. So I think that pretty much wraps up this video, okay? And if I don't think I said it, but all right, make sure you check out my video description because I got a lot of good links in there. And these days I'm spending more like 4+ hours a day. Seriously, it gets very, very hard to keep up with all of your guys' questions. I actually have 3 channels now, and this one's the most popular. I have another one that's starting to get pretty popular. And then I do have a third one, but it's very hard to keep up with all your questions, guys. I try very hard to answer everybody's questions, but man, it is YouTube makes it very hard because they don't send me notifications on every comment. Sometimes I find comments that were like 3 or 4 months old that I was never notified about. So if I miss your comments, guys, I'm sorry. And I got a lot of great links in the description of most of my videos. If you see, a lot of my newer videos that was made on my PC, you see the webcam, a lot of great links in there with some good information to help you guys out. So yeah, I think that pretty much wraps this video up. So I will catch you guys later, alright? See ya.